see anything, but it sounds like he's doing better. He's close, and hopefully he'll be available sooner rather than later.
Concerning tomorrow night's game, he said he's hopeful. You make a decision on him tomorrow for tomorrow's game?
So it's totally up to the training staff and how he feels. There's nothing to do with me. So I'll get their cues and go from there.
Prep for both situations?
Doesn't change much in what we're doing.
Have you gotten a sense from the training staff when he is available, if he'll be on a minutes limit or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
it'll probably be limited just because he hasn't done anything either in 4 or 5 weeks. So as far as really going up and down in that kind of environment, you're probably looking at more shorter, 4 or 5 minute stints, those types of things.
Coach, we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about John crowding out. Are they doing that? Is that one of their targets, for lack of a better word, to prevent him from making plays?
I think they just do that generally with everybody. Obviously, when Al has it in the post, they're often long at the elbow, and making it tough for him to get to the middle of the floor, which a lot of teams do. But when Giannis is standing there, that's really long at the elbow. And then but they're reacting to every paint threat with great force and anticipation, and they move and they work hard, and we just have to make sure that we're patient in getting the best looks, and that patience doesn't mean you ease into it. You have to work really hard and be patient against these guys, because they do a great job of covering up the paint.
Game 4, obviously, you guys talked the other day about how hard it is to win 2 straight games in any series, but now you have a chance to respond to what they do.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to respond. This is part of the playoffs. This is part of being in it, and the great challenges that it presents from the psyche, right? Like you have a game where you don't play well there, and they pound you, and then you have a game where you come back here and you do a lot of great things. They were just a little bit better, and in that run they were much better. So we have to focus on what we can control. That's these 48 minutes. Nothing else matters, and playing that to the best of our ability.
When you think of how you defended Giannis in Game 1, what changed?
We haven't changed much as far as I thought we've done a pretty good job of trying to keep him in front. He's got to the foul line more. Obviously that's tough, and we got to do a great job of meeting him early to try to keep him off balance so that he's not getting to the line. But he's going to get there some, and we got to do as good as we can at building a wall to make it tough to get to where he wants to go, and at the same time getting the shooters. As I said all series, the appropriate amount of help is the key, and it's so easy for me to point out with slow motion film, but when it's coming at you full speed, it's a different story.
I mean, I know he's shot well from 3, but do you have to make him more of a shooter?
I mean, he's a really good player. I mean, we're not picking him up above the 3-point line, so I'm not sure what else we've done. I mean, we're gonna keep guarding him at the right depth. But we haven't. He's hit 5 for 10 from 3 or whatever. Once he starts hitting that 50% during the regular season and then into the playoffs for years and years, it's going to be as big of a handful as it comes. He's already one of the best in the league.
Brad, your conversation with Kyrie, can you share the gist of what you guys were talking about?
We just wanted to spend 15 minutes talking about the objection at the Kentucky Derby and how that could possibly have happened. And so we just created that conversation as long as the objection.
Really?
And that's what we discussed in great detail.
Did you come to a different conclusion than the judges in Churchill Downs?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to share what we talked about. But that was amazing, to watch it. My daughter had the initial winner in the pool, and then she had to give the money back.
You won the first game. You lost 2 games. You won 1 game. What happened? Can you explain how difficult it is to win at the pro level, almost in any sport, particularly NBA?
Well, basketball is just a different game in and of itself. Every game is its own entity. You can get into a rhythm as a team. You can get into a feel as a team. you try to do your best to break the rhythm of your opponent. But there's two teams playing out there. A lot is dependent on the ball going in the basket. Both teams are trying to do everything they can to meet force with force. But ultimately, we're playing elite competition, as I said yesterday, and so winning any possession is a challenge, and you have to do your very best to stay in those moments. We can't let the 10-0 run over a minute 40 in the third quarter be a deciding factor of the game. And I thought in a lot of ways, when you go back to that game, that really was. So there's a lot that you can try to do. There's a lot that you can try to prepare for. But each game's going to be its own entity, and you can try to go in with the mindset that you're going to control what you can on every possession.
Why do you think